What's happening, YouTube? It's Simon 466 Cards, and today I'm going to talk about the two biggest problems with Panini Prizm basketball and how there is a new product that's very similar to Prizm and might actually solve for those two problems. Now, will that be enough to overtake Prizm as the key flagship product for Panini? We'll discuss that at the very end of the video. So let's start off with Panini Prizm and the two main problems with it. Here I have the checklist on the Beckett website, and the first problem with Prizm basketball today is the number of parallels. This is the full list. I actually have to keep scrolling to get the full list. I believe there's somewhere close to 70 parallels. I didn't count all these. I think it might be 63, 67, something like that. But you can see there are just a bunch of useless, silly, unnecessary prisms. Snakeskin prisms, what's that? Wave green, what? Red seismic, teal ice, that's like another form of ice. We already have blue ice, we have red ice, we have pink ice. How many different ices do we need here, right? We've got the gold waves, not to be confused with the gold shimmer, not to be confused with the gold prism, not to be confused with the black gold. What is the point of these things? Neon green fast break, green shimmer. There's so many of these that are just completely unnecessary. And again, look at this size of this list. It's insane. It's just gross. So that's the first problem. I think we all agree that Prizm basketball, and probably for Prizm football, has too many prisms. Too many parallels in Prizm. The second problem is the photography for rookies is absolutely horrendous. Here is Victor Wembanyama and the infamous curtain call picture is what I'm calling this. It's an awful picture. This is trash. It's just straight not good. Why didn't they Photoshop out the curtain and make something more interesting? Bizarre. Just black it out. Or make it the same color as the outer edge or the outer border of the Prizm card. Why can't we do that? Just trash. So that's the number one pick from last year's draft. Number two pick, Brandon Miller. Same silly curtain situation. Again, garbage. If you're gonna have a black curtain in the background, just make it completely black with no texture. Just make it fully black and make it just the person. Having the black curtain is just nonsense. It's just like a waste of effort. Nobody even tried here, it seems like. So Brandon Miller, number two pick. Number three pick, Scoot Henderson. Look at that again. It's the same curtain situation. Again, how is this the best that you could do? Why not just black out or gray out or silver out the background and just have the player popping on like a silver background? I think that'll look pretty good. Why this curtain? Unbelievable. That's the number three pick from last year's draft. And the number four pick, this is Amen Thompson. Again, curtain call. You could see a little bit of the floor here. But again, just horrendous pictures being used for these cards. This is crap. This is absolute trash. Let's not kid ourselves. So the two main problems, the number of parallels and horrific photography. Well, let me introduce to you Panini Prizm Deca or Deca. I don't even know how to pronounce this. But this is a tribute product to the initial Panini Prizm basketball set in 2012-2013. You can see that here. It's a tribute of sorts to Prizm basketball from 2012-2013. And the first problem we have with current day Prizm is too many parallels. Well, let's take a look at the number of parallels in Prizm Deca. Look at this. A nice short list. Silver, red, blue, purple, orange, mojo, green shimmer, gold, black gold, shimmer, black gold, black, and black shimmer. That's it. That is a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 total parallels. 11 of them are numbered. 1 silver. Done. Beautiful. This is exactly what we should have. And you don't have any of this silly glitter and teal ice. What are these? Why do we have these, right? This, it's nice and tight. 12 total parallels. All of them make sense to me. The only complaint I have, and this is like a very minor complaint, is instead of black shimmer, they should have done a nebula. That's the only complaint I have. Everything else here, like chef's kiss to the number of parallels and the ones that they have here. Now, let's look at the photography. That's the second issue, right? Black curtain trash, black curtain trash, black curtain trash, black curtain trash. Well, let's look at Victor Wembanyama, #1 pick. This is what we're comparing it to. Look at this. Isn't this a nice picture? Got the ball popping off through the border, which makes it look kind of cool and makes it more of a 3D effect because it's popping out of the border. You got fans in the background. Amazing. Whether or not that's photoshopped, I don't care. It's still better than this, right? Great photography. #2 pick, Brandon Miller. Again, black curtain. Let's see that this is the baseline that we need to compare it to. Look at this. That's a great photo. Again, got a crowd in the background. Better than a curtain. Why couldn't we create something like this instead of this for regular Prizm? I don't know. Maybe it's a logistics thing. I have no idea. But again, this, better than this. No question. All right, this is the baseline for the #3 pick, Scoot Henderson. Black curtain nonsense. Let's see what we have here. Look at that. Look at that. He's got his cool little goggles, visor. He's dribbling the ball. And there's a nice crowd in the background. Not this silly black curtain nonsense. A better picture. All right, let's go to the #4 pick, Amen Thompson. What is this pose? I've never seen someone do a layup like this before, or I don't know what this is. And then again, the black curtain with the weird gym floor. Look at this. Live action, he's going in for a layup, crowd in the background, 2 defenders watching him from the Raptors. This is way better than this. So, I know this is going to be a short video, but Prizm Deca, however you want to call it, it's a much better product than regular Prizm because it addresses the 2 main products with Prizm basketball. The photography is better, and the parallels are few and far between, and they make sense. This is a logical list of parallels. Now, I've said all this, and this leads to the ultimate, $1 million question, or I guess my many $1,000 question. Can Prizm Deca or Prizm Deca replace regular Prizm as the flagship product? It's got a lot going against it happening. One is that this is a tribute set, so whether or not they create this set next year, in the final year of Prizm, basically, it's unclear. But Panini loves a money grab, so they might do this again. The second and the obvious problem is just inertia and tradition. This regular Prizm set has 12, 13 years of history behind it. This is in year 1. And so even though it has better photography and it has a logical list of parallels, that might not be enough for just people not wanting to change, wanting to just do the same thing and assume the same thing and not having to think a little bit more critically of why they actually want to own a card. This is a better set. Just straight up, it's a better set. It's a more logical set. It has better photography. And ultimately, whether or not Deca can take over the regular Prizm, there's only 2 years left in the Panini era anyway, so it's not ultimately going to matter. But given that this is Victor Wembanyama's rookie year, I do think this year, if Victor ends up being this all-time great, I do think that this year's set of cards will matter. And if he does become an all-time great, it does beg the question of whether or not Prizm Deca has the chance to overtake regular Prizm basketball. I think a lot of people say like, no, Prizm will never be overtaken. That's insane. But there's enough here because it still has the Prizm name on the actual card, right? You can see it says Prizm at the bottom, and then it has the Deca in very tiny font below. There is, because it then is like a flavor of Prizm, so it's not like so far removed. It's not like it's Select or something way out in left field. That's way different than Prizm. It's a variation product basically of Prizm, and so it's just close enough that people might make the switch. And that's the one thing it has going for it, the fact that it already is a Prizm product. So my question to you is, do you think Prizm Deca has a chance to replace regular Prizm basketball for Victor Wembanyama's rookie year as the quote-unquote flagship product? I don't know. I think my answer is probably not, but this is the product for me that actually has a chance to overtake Prizm. And I don't know that I had a candidate for that in previous years. This is definitely one that, if it were to ever happen, this would be the product. Now, whether or not it will, time will tell. And I'm also intrigued as to whether or not next year, in the last year of the Panini era, I believe, whether or not they will produce Prizm Deca again, especially if it does well this season. But yeah, I would love to hear your thoughts and comments on Prizm Deca and its potential in these last 2 years of the Panini era to replace Panini. I actually don't know, which is I am actually curious as to what you guys might think. Anyways, that's it for this video. Thank you as always for listening and watching. I'll talk to you all soon. Cheers.